Hello dear friends, welcome to this program, Our Moments with God, Our Moments with the Word of God. Though in this particular video, I am not going to speak particularly about any one Word of God or one passage which I usually do, or speak about a saint, but I just want to let you know that this is already 9:15 here according to our time, even in the evening. How to show this clock, okay, this watch. So I don't know if you can see, and you can see how bright it is. I am doing this in the natural light. So you might wonder, I just want to let you know, many of you in India or Sri Lanka or Pakistan or in Asia, where the sun sets so early, but here it is summer, and day before yesterday we had the longest day of the year. So yesterday I wanted to make this video, but it was very cloudy. Even today you can see there are a lot of clouds. So it is not as bright as it should be at this time of the day. As you can see there at the far end, there are no clouds and there is bright there. So when you actually see the daylight, and that's why they have in Europe a change of timing. There is a summer time and there is a winter time. So summertime is you get 1 hour longer daylight, they call it, and in winter they reduce that 1 hour. So just to make it a practical comparison, now between India and us here in Europe, there is a 3.5 hours difference. That is Europe. I'm not talking about England. England has its own timing. So between England and India, it will be 4.5 hours. But here in Europe and India, it is 3.5 hours. Whereas in winter, the time difference between India and Europe, Central Europe, is 4.5 hours. Of course, India and other countries, there is always this 4.5, 3.5 kind of difference, because India maintains Indian Standard Time. That is also good to know. I'm sure many of you know, because India is so large from east to west that if you actually count in the east of India and in the west of India, the actual time is different. Like in the United States, they have 4 time zones, one country, but 4 different time zones. Whereas in India, though we have different time zones, we still keep one standard time. That's why it is called Indian Standard Time. So though there is a difference in the east, for example, it will be in Manipur, when it is actually 5 o'clock in the morning, the sun rises, it will still be 4 o'clock in the extreme coast of Gujarat, for example, or Rajasthan. There could be 1 hour difference, but in order to maintain time, the same time for both, they call it Indian Standard Time. But here, as I was saying, the time difference in summer is 3.5 hours, and in winter it is 4.5 hours. So you can see now, you see so beautifully bright. I am not using any extra light to make this video. I am just making an ordinary video. You see how bright it is. So it is for you all to know, my dear friends, that how there is a time difference in here. When I first time came to Europe, that was way back in 1987. Actually, I first landed also in Vienna that time, but I went around Europe. And it was also in the month of June, like now. I remember the first time I landed in Europe, it was on the 22nd of June. And I was so surprised that at 10 o'clock, there was still light and bright. And you can easily now see the time, or you can, oh, where is it now? I must show this camera is moving, so I cannot show. This camera moves according to me and not according to the, I'm trying to show the watch, but it doesn't show. So never mind, it is turning towards me. I wanted to show you the actual time on the watch, or I can now, it is already getting now 9:15, and you can still read like in the open. So the other day I was making a video call to somebody around this time, and he said, my gosh, if it is so bright, then when do you go to sleep? So that gave me the idea that people have no idea in India about this time difference and how bright it is even so late. And when do we go to sleep? Well, we go to sleep, we draw our curtains, but by 10 o'clock, 10:30, I normally go to bed around 10:30. By that time it will be, of course, quite dark, and you see the moon is also, the half moon is there. I don't know if you can, if it can show you the moon. Where is it? No. Yeah, far. Can you see the moon? There it is. There it is. Yeah. The moon is also shining, though it is not yet dark, but the moon is begun to shine. It is only half moon. And so on the one side, the moon is shining, or yeah, moon has risen, and on the other side you can see still there is bright. That is the west. So the sun sets on that side, or if I make it a selfie type, then you can see that that will be the west. So I am standing against the light, but still you see there is bright light. So my dear friends, this is God's beautiful creation, and it is very difficult to understand how there is this time difference, how the sun rises in the east. The first people to see the sunrise either in New Zealand or in Japan, and the last person to see it is in the Honolulu or Hawaii, or even further Alaska and around that side. So while I am mentioning this, before I close, I can just tell you that in 1990, when I first time traveled to America, in 1990 from the Philippines, I made a stopover in Korea, South Korea, Seoul. So I celebrated Easter morning mass in Seoul, and Easter midnight mass in Seoul, and morning mass in Seoul, and then I took a flight from there to San Francisco, and I landed there on Easter morning. I already celebrated Easter here. I traveled 18 hours towards that time from the other side. From South Korea to the other side I went, and I landed in San Francisco again on Easter morning after traveling 18 hours. So that was again a wonderful experience to celebrate two Easters on the same year. In the same time, I celebrated two Easters. So that is the wonder of our world, how round it is, how the sun rises and the earth is exposed to it slowly as the sun doesn't go up, but the earth keeps moving and exposes itself to the sun. So we can talk a lot about this beautiful creation, and the other day I showed you the short video of the forest. You can see already there at the far end those trees you can see beyond this. That is already the forest where I go for walks, and maybe one of these days again, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I will go and make a video of the forest properly, because yesterday what I made was only with the with my mobile. So my dear friends, I wish you a very good night, and tomorrow is the feast of Saint John the Baptist. I have already posted the video, but this I will post again. Happy feast to all of you. Thank you very much, because it's already in India, it's already now the next day. All the best. Good night.